Last time we talked about one way to make for loops. Today I want to show a different way of writing it, but that makes the same kind of for loop. So I'm going to go up to New Script. And then let me just remind you what it looked like last time. Last time I said something like for I equals 1 up to 10. Then I want to do something like display hello world. And then I finish the for loop by writing the word end, end. So what's this 1 to 10? Let me go back to the command window and just remind you. If I do 1:10, okay, that's just shorthand for start at 1, go up by 1, never go past 10. Two different ways of writing the same thing. So I could get this exact same thing by typing for I equals 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so on all the way up to 10. So let me call this, how about new function would be a bad name, new script. Let me go back to the command window and run it. Okay, so just like before, it printed it 10 times. So there's no advantage to doing this other than that it shows you that I don't have to have something with a colon here. Anything that I have that's a vector works for the syntax for I equals vector. So that 1:10, it's just a common way of making a vector. So as an example, say I did for I equals 10, 5, 6. So think about what this is going to produce when I run this script. So I get it by hitting the up arrow. So it printed it 3 times. Why did it print it 3 times? Well, it went into the first slot, okay, but it doesn't really care that I is 10 in this first slot. It just displays hello world. Then it goes into the second slot, displays hello world. It goes into the third slot and displays hello world. So for this particular script that I wrote, all that matters is the length of the vector. It doesn't matter what particular entries there are in the vector. So as an example, what if I have I plus 8 here? Okay, let's look at it. It looks exactly the same. Seems like I didn't change anything else. So let me show you what happens if I take away the semicolon. Okay, and save it. Okay, so what happened? Let's look here. It went I equals 10. It printed hello world. And then it evaluated 18. Didn't change the value of I. That would be if I had I equals I plus 8. Okay, just evaluated this 10 plus 8, which is 18. And because I didn't have a semicolon at the end, it gave me this answer equals 18. Okay, and so on. Next was I equals 5. And then it gave me answer equals 5 plus 8. Answer equals 13. Okay, so as an example, what if I had j equals I plus 8 with no semicolon? Okay, and then I'm going to run it. Okay, it starts up here. So now instead of saying ans equals 18, instead of saying answer equals 18, it says j equals 18. So let me show you a way that we could have written this out by hand. So here's our old script. Let me make a new script. Okay, so here's another script. So I went for I equals 10, 5, 6. So secretly, what was it doing? Secretly, it was doing I equals 10. Okay, didn't show us that. That's why I put a semicolon. Then it displayed this hello world. Okay, I just copied these 2 lines. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the indentation. Then it's going to do I equals 5. Okay, so what I'm showing you now is I'm showing you the long way to do what this previous script did. Okay, this is how we could have done it without using a for loop. Okay, so it's For loops, they're all about repetition. Here it's I equals 6. Okay, and then the same thing again. So because there are only 3, I can write them all out. The for loops are great also if you want to do, say, 1,000 different things. So let me save it. Let me call it new script 2. Okay, and let's evaluate it. It's going to look exactly the same as when I ran new script. So I'm going to type new underscore and hit the tab button. Okay, and now because there are 2 different scripts or commands that start with new underscore, it gives me this option. Okay, so that's just an example of how tab completion works in this case. Okay, I choose new script 2, I evaluate it, looks exactly the same as before. So last thing I want to do is show you how we could use a for loop to make a vector with the numbers 1 squared, 2 squared, all the way up to n squared. So this one I'm going to do in a function. It's always good for me to do some of these things in functions because functions are in the long run what's going to be more important for us. So let me call it my function, my underscore fn. Input is going to be n. Output is going to be a vector. So let me show you the old way that we could have done this. I could have done for v equals 1 to n, and then I could have done v equals, okay, this wouldn't have worked. I can't square a vector. I want to get 1 squared, 2 squared, etc. So I want to get element-wise operation, so I should put a period before the exponent. Okay, so I save it. I use that same name, and now I do my function, how about 6? Okay, and then there it gives me 1 squared, 2 squared, all the way up to 6 squared. So what I want to show you in this video is how to do this same thing, get the same response by using a for loop. Okay, and this is a kind of syntax we're going to use a lot. I'm going to start out with initializing just an empty vector, v equals the empty vector, and then I'm going to say for I equals 1 up to n. Okay, and then this is the part you should get used to. This is like saying make v longer. Take the old value of v, so start it out empty, and then put an I squared at the end of it. And it's going to do that 1 time for 1, 2, 3, all the way up to n. Okay, so let me try it here. I'll try with a different one. Say I do my function 5. Okay, so it put 1 squared on the vector, 2 squared on the vector, and so on.